on this beautiful day. Here we go. And a kick that looks returnable for Williams. Good special teams for Indiana. They can be explosive. Williams gets to the 30 and is dropped across the 30-yard line. So now the Hoosiers offense will come on the field. And that kid we've already been talking about, Peyton Ramsey, comes from a football family. His dad, Doug, a very successful head coach at the high school level in Cincinnati. Elder High School powerhouse program there. Doug coached last night, got a big win with his team, got in the car early this morning, and he and the family are here to watch Peyton start a game on the road in conference play. And we will see, as Lugs was referring to, the athleticism of this young kid. I think Indiana also appreciates. He plays like a coach's son. Understands the offense even as a young player. The handoff straight ahead for the true freshman Morgan Ellison, and a nice gain on first down for the Hoosiers. Well, Peyton Ramsey, who is a redshirt freshman from Elder High School in Cincinnati. He was named after Peyton Ramsey. We'll talk about that. The family has used some football names to name the Ramsey kids, and Peyton's taken off a designed run, it looked like. Took a hit, but he got the first down.
And he embodies what you want from a Big Ten quarterback. He's tough, he's athletic, and he can create when nothing's there with first glance. Excited to watch his future.
The handoff to Ellison, who is another young player who seems to have a bright future. A kid who in the end was kind of deciding between Michigan State and Indiana, chose the Hoosiers, and they're happy he did.
He's going to be a surprise.
Yeah, he'll be a feature back, Greg. This guy is a really good looking player.
Indiana's got quite a history here over the last several years at the running back position. That throw into tight coverage, knocked down, incomplete. First pass intended for Simi Cobbs.
Trying to get the downfield passing attack going. If you are going to be critical of what Peyton Ramsey's been to this point, it's that he has not been consistent on throws down the field. Got to get on the same page with Cobbs, Timian, and some of their big wide receivers on the perimeter.
First drive of the game from right around midfield, 3rd and 3. They will hand it off to Ellison, and he got stopped at least a full yard short of the first down. We'll see what Tom Allen decides to do.
Have to think he's going to kick it here. First drive of the game, you've already changed field position. Tom Allen also doubling as the defensive coordinator, understands the value of that.
And even though, Greg, the stats don't necessarily match it, I think he, as a defensive coach, he's turned this defense around the last couple of years, has a lot of faith in that unit. The punt from Hayden Whitehead is going to pin the Spartans deep right around their own 10-yard line. There is a penalty flag back down near where the ball was punted. And it's against Indiana.
Holding, offense, number 58, 10-yard penalty, reinforced from the end of the play. First down.
That improves the field position for the Spartans, who will get the ball for the first time. And their young quarterback, he is a third-year player, the sophomore Brian Lewerke from Phoenix, Arizona. Not a big pipeline from the desert here to East Lansing. Just the 5th player ever from that state to play for Michigan State. And they really believe that this guy is the future of their offense. They are very excited about Brian Lewerke.
He's got a lot of talent, and like you alluded to, he's got some athleticism that we haven't always seen from Michigan State quarterbacks. You remember Kirk Cousins, you know Connor Cook, more pocket passers. Brian Lewerke adds that additional element of being able to create with his legs if nothing's there, an element that you almost have to have now in college football.
Last year, it certainly wasn't the only thing that wasn't working well, but the quarterback play took a big drop for Michigan State last season. Lewerke trying to improve upon that. A little pitch play on first down, well defended by Indiana for no gain.
And Tom, it's going to be really interesting to watch Brian Lewerke over the next few years. Only a sophomore, has a lot of room to grow, but with his athletic ability, he really has as high of an upside as we've seen from a Michigan State passer in a few years.
Yeah, and I think he's going to make their offense a bit more creative. They're going to be allowed to do a few more things to maybe set up some individual matchups and still allow him to run.
They have tried to be creative. That first play, they pitched it to a wide receiver. Now we may see Lewerke run. He will. Lewerke showing that athleticism, sticks the ball out, and I think Well, no, they spot him short of a first down by a couple of yards.
Just a little bit short, but you see in the back end, Indiana's got everybody covered. If that's Connor Cook or Kirk Cousins, that might be a lost yardage play or a throwaway. With Lewerke, him escaping to the perimeter, seeing green grass, it creates a third and very manageable 2 after the nice gain.
London getting the start at tailback with L.J. Scott not starting this game. Instead, kind of that jet sweep action to the true freshman Cody White for a Michigan State first down. If you didn't hear the news, L.J. Scott coming off a career performance on the road against Minnesota, arrested on Wednesday. An issue with his driver's license. It's happened before a lot of times. Mark D'Antonio says it's been cleared up. He is available today. We'll see when he makes it on the field.
And he's a big piece to what they're doing offensively. They have capable running backs behind them, but he is certainly the best of the bunch.
Andre London will get his first carry. London, left side, broke an initial tackle, gets a couple of yards.
I think the thing that they're missing, Greg and Dave, without L.J. Scott is that downhill freight train aspect. You just saw Madre London, a little bit more of a tippy-toer. He's going to be a little bit more patient, maybe wait a bit for things to open up, whereas L.J. is going to be a downhill, shoulders square, and really press the hole. And let's see how long it takes Mark D'Antonio to insert him into this game.
We do believe he will play, although even that's not a certainty. 2nd and 7 for the Spartans, and Lewerke faked it to London, tried to sneak forward, got tripped up, and gained just a couple yards.
3rd and 4 now. A little tempo from Michigan State, which is not something you see a whole lot of, much like the personnel matchup defensively.
A 3rd down and about 5. Lewerke on the move, throws across his body, incomplete. His receiver may have had a step. The pass to Larice Nelson a little bit high. It's 4th down.
Oh man, this is one that you come back on Sunday and you think, what could have been? As you see Lewerke working to his right, a little bit of air underneath that throw to allow Nelson to run underneath it, and there is nothing but Spartan green out in front of the intended wide receiver. That could have been a huge play with a little touch on the pass.
Now Hartbarger will punt to Ja'Shawn Harris. It's a booming punt. Harris is going to let it go over his head, and it dies at around the 5, rolls inside the 5, all the way down to the 1. That will make his head coach happy. Mark D'Antonio has said it many times in the past. The punt, he feels, is the most important play in football. That was well executed.
Extremely well executed, and it was a high spiraling kick that checked up like a pitching wedge inside the 10. Very good by the 3rd phase that has been traditionally so good for Michigan State.
62 yards and no return, and look where the Indiana offense has to start their 2nd drive. And we do welcome those of you who are joining us from Austin, Texas, here in East Lansing, where Indiana is pinned deep, and I think they got out of the end zone just barely. The Spartans are looking for a safety. Morgan Ellison, the true freshman running back, after a 62-yard punt, has pinned the Hoosiers inside the 1. Dave Fleming, Greg McElroy, Tom Luganbill on this gorgeous day in Michigan. I think they're taking a look.
On the field was a runner's forward progress, was stopped in the field of play. The play is under further review.
How has Mark D'Antonio built this Michigan State program? Special teams, field position, ball control, and defense, and it's all coming together here on this sequence as the officials are going to see whether Ellison made it out of the end zone.
And of course, the football has to leave the end zone entirely for this not to be called a safety. Looks like he does.
I think it did.
Yeah, it looks like there's plenty of room to warrant keeping the ball where it's spotted. And of course, you have to have indisputable video evidence to overturn, and nothing based on what I've seen to this point makes me think they're going to do that.
Tom Fielder is the replay official, part of this Big Ten crew. Conference game, Michigan State, 18th ranked team in the country, trying to keep their roll going. A huge win a couple weeks ago on the road at the Big House against their rivals, and then last week at Minnesota. Indiana, meanwhile, so disappointed last week.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Second down.
And I think that's the correct call. It doesn't make it easy, though, for Indiana. The ball is still inside the 1-yard line.
Yeah, that's just the start of their problems. Of course, second drive of the ball game. First drive was successful, picked up a couple first downs. Then you get backed up because of a great punt by Michigan State. You got to be smart, too, if you're Michigan State, to watch the ball and not jump off sides defensively.
The redshirt freshman quarterback Peyton Ramsey from the end zone down the sideline into coverage, and a jump ball catch by Simi Cobbs, who just out-muscled the defender and gets out near the 30-yard line.
It's a great catch by Simi Cobbs. And I know a lot of people will say that's offensive pass interference. You didn't see his arm extend, so it's difficult for the official to call. It's a good pickup by Indiana.
One-on-one against Justin Lane, who's a very good cover guy. Ramsey now pressured and will throw it away. Chris Fry, the linebacker, came with some pressure on this young quarterback who has taken over. Did not start the year at the helm. Richard Lago, in fact, had a huge game in the opener against Ohio State. And it was a gutsy decision by the first-year head coach Tom Allen to make Peyton Ramsey the starter. They'll play fake. They'll get the ball in the hands of Cobbs, looking for a block. He just got 3 yards or so.
Well, you see that athleticism. Part of the reason why he made that move, that athleticism, is why he did not get sacked and take a huge loss there, or we'd be sitting here at 3rd and 14.
Good point. Indiana loves to get to the line quickly. They don't always snap it quickly,
especially on 3rd down. It's a critical down and distance, so they're not afraid to take a picture of what the defense is doing and get in the correct play call to best take advantage of what the Spartans are in defensively.
Spartans are showing some pressure. It's picked up initially. Now Ramsey on the move, gets hit as he throws, incomplete. 4th down, Indiana will punt the ball away. I think in some ways it's a relief for the Hoosiers. They got themselves some breathing room.
That's the goal. When you're backed up offensively, the goal is to pick up 2 first downs. Now they only picked up 1, but the big play constitutes as a couple, maybe 2, 2.5, even 3 first downs. So a successful drive as you leave the field offensively, trying to change field position after being way backed up.
Maurice Nelson and Cody White deep to receive. Hayden Whitehead, the punter, with the left foot. That one sends Nelson back to the 20. He's got a little room in front, but will be hit at the 25. That's where Michigan State's offense takes over. When we come back here to East Lansing, 8:27 to go, first quarter, no score. There is another very important game in the Big Ten later tonight, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Number 19, Michigan on the road. It's a whiteout for Penn State. The Nittany Lions looking for a huge win against Michigan tonight, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. It'll stream live on the app. How you feeling about that one?
I think it's going to be very competitive. It's hard to unsee what happened last year. Obviously, Penn State losing by 39 to Michigan. This is a completely different Penn State team, but I think it's going to be very competitive.
That was a whooping last year in Ann Arbor. Hand off to London on first down. Short gain for the Spartans, who are backed up again. The field position has been a big part of the story in this first quarter. Neither team has had very good starting field position. Average start for Indiana, their own 13. For the Spartans, their own 19.
But the offenses have gotten a couple drives where they've picked up 2 or 3 first downs to flip the field position to the other offense. So it's been a seesaw so far here in the first 13 minutes of the game.
London again, the tailback, and they will give it to London. The blitz came, the ball's on the ground and recovered by Indiana. The fumbles have been a huge problem for Michigan State, and another one here. Now the field position is flipped. The Hoosiers get it inside the red zone.
Oh, and you can see coming off the edge, looked like Tony Fields, the Husky position.
He stripped it, and then I think it was Jonathan Crawford who pounced on it.
You're exactly right. He just got that right arm right on the football. But it wasn't really a huge hit. It wasn't a great collision. We've seen this time and time again from Michigan State over the course of this season. So many fumbles and mistakes.
I mean, look at them all. In some ways, they've been lucky, fortunate. Brian Lewerke's fumbled 5 times. They've only lost 1 of those. It could be even worse for the Spartans. Now London has put one on the ground that has given Indiana great field position. That is the most impactful play of this first quarter so far. Morgan Ellison, the tailback. Ramsey, the quarterback, gets spun around and goes down. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Wow.
Look at
right
Joe Bocci, Greg, huh?
Joe Bocci, big number 35. Don't stand on the tracks when the train's coming through. He just ran over Ellison, the running back, en route to the tackle for loss. He's a big-time linebacker in only his sophomore season.
You'll be shocked to find out that Ellison is no longer on the field. Mike Majette is now out there. Ramsey looking to run again and just nowhere to go. This time Mike Panashuk, older brother. 3rd down.
I'm a little surprised, too, that Indiana's trying so hard to get the run game going between the tackles. That's the strength of Michigan State. Their defense has always been built from the inside out, and the corners have been elite. They're running right into the teeth of the Spartan defense so far.
You got Cobbs wide left. He's kind of the big play receiver for Indiana on 3rd down and 10. They can get a first down at about the 5. There's a penalty flag on the field. That one off the hands of Luke Timian in the end zone. There is a penalty flag that came right as the ball was snapped.
Illegal formation. Offense, number 54. Penalties decline. 4th down.
A field goal try coming.
That is such a great job from this Michigan State defense. Indiana gets the ball deep in Spartan territory. They have 3 plays. They gain 0 yards. And they have to settle for a field goal. 3 and out after the sudden change. That's big time in regards to handling the adversity.
Be a 33-yard try for Griffin Oakes. He's having a good year. This kick is up, and it is good. Well, the Hoosiers get the turnover and turn it into 3 points. Man, it really is been such a big problem. It was last year. It's been this year for Michigan State, and they've done it just about every way possible. Special teams, snap problems, quarterback running, the running backs. L.J. Scott has fumbled 4 times all by himself this season.
Yeah, but he's certainly not the only offender. I mean, you look at the entire team, and obviously the one from just a few plays ago by London, the entire team has fallen victim to the fumbles. You wonder, is it a mental thing? Is there something more that you can practice? The more you talk about it, the more you emphasize it, the more guys have a tendency to think about it, and it tends to reveal itself even a little bit more. So if it was just one offender, then you'd sit him down. You'd say, hey, look, you can't be on the field. We can't trust you with the football. But everybody has fallen victim. So Mark D'Antonio, a guy that has always prided himself on winning the turnover battle and being smart, playing ball control offense, he's got to get that figured out, because the Big Ten is an opportunistic defensive league. And you can see right here, Indiana, much maligned on defense a few years ago. Now they're one of the better groups that we've seen in the Big Ten.
Just about half of the points that the Spartans have allowed this year have come after their offense has turned the ball over. That'll be a touchback. Hayward in the end zone takes a knee, gives us a chance to check in with Cassidy in studio.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, kicking
thanks,
team
Cassidy.
number 23.
There was a penalty flag that came in late, and you can see that Tom Allen is hot at his special teams performer. That is Alex Rodriguez, the running back. Unsportsmanlike conduct, and that changes the field position entirely. Michigan State will start at their own 40-yard line. This is what we were talking about, where The turnovers lost, the opponent's points off of. They've allowed 112 points total this year, 54 of them after they've lost a turnover.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they have been put on the field in sudden change so many times. And obviously they still rank up there near the top and when it comes to points per game allowed. I mean, it's just amazing how good this group has been. Imagine if offenses were forced to go the entire length of the field because their offense wouldn't turn it over.
Lewerke hands it off to L.J. Scott. Patient run, waited for a hole and gets it across the 45 to about the 46. That could be the final play of the first quarter. We'll see.
You talk about these turnovers and field position, the one that Michigan State committed that led to those 3 points. It's a double whammy, guys, because you turn the ball over and you give up your field position.
It's been a big part of the story for the Spartans this year. End of quarter number 1. It's homecoming here in East Lansing. 3-0 Indiana with the lead. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. All right, so I'm just the visitor here on the crew, but for today, 2 QBs and a phlegm. Okay,
yes.
We can call it that.
That's true.
Zeke, the Frisbee dog, here at Michigan State. We had a little contest yesterday. Who could complete a Frisbee throw and catch to Zeke for the longest yardage? You guys tried and couldn't quite get it done. So I stepped in just as the visitor.
That's true.
And that was my reward. Look at the slobber. Oh, my goodness. I got to know Zeke even a little better than I thought I would. Now
There
they've
you go.
spray-painted Zeke. Why have they done that?
Go green, go white. I get it.
On first down, Indiana swings it out to Timian. That was well defended by Michigan State.
Now wait a minute,
what,
Dave.
yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Greg,
What?
We sent that thing to the Zeke the Frisbee Dog Command Center.
Yes.
And it has come back.
No, he got 4 down.
He
did not have 4 paws in.
He got 4 down. It's 4 at this level.
Is it a 1-paw or 2-paw guy?
It's a 4-paw.
And he got them all 4 in. All of them. That was no doubt about it. Incomplete down the left sideline to set up 3rd and 10. Okay, so I'm filling in for Pash this week while he's overseas.
Yes.
And he's going to get credit for my points, I think, for the season. But just for this week, I win.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Dave, you're both named Dave, the points transfer.
Just because you share the first name does not mean that he gets credit for what you just accomplished.
He's still last.
That's true. I'm not worried about him.
You guys are just lucky that I haven't been here all year.
That's a good point.
Flem, this is a 2-man race.
Pash can thank me later. 3rd down for Indiana. It was fun to be with Zeke. Ramsey with a penalty flag on the field gets away and is going to try to scramble for it. Gets a block, takes a hit outside the 25. I think it's another illegal formation or movement for Indiana. All that for nothing.
Illegal formation. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Correction. The penalties declined. 4th down.
Indiana's having a hard time even just getting lined up properly on offense.
I'm telling you, I mean, this is not what I'm used to seeing from Indiana. Usually they're so dialed in. You can see their offensive coordinator, Mike DeBoard, in his first year with the Hoosiers, they need to get dialed in. They got to be more efficient on 1st and 2nd down, too, and stop leaving themselves 3rd and longs.
Whitehead the punter, White the return man. End over end, and no fair catch signal. That one will take an Indiana bounce down close to the 26-yard line. Punts have been big in this one. 3-0 Indiana.
College football on ABC, presented by Kay Jewelers, is brought to you by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And Land Rover, above and beyond.
Well, some shots from last night. Perfect timing with a homecoming weekend. Michigan State basketball's version of Midnight Madness, and their longtime head coach, one of the very best in the business, Tom Izzo, who's kicking off another year of Spartans hoops. One of the favorites in the Big Ten, one of the favorites around the country, and a part of that is Miles Bridges has come back to play his sophomore year. Surprised a lot of folks. He loves it here in East Lansing. Maybe the most talented player in the country coming into the year. He will lead the way for Spartans hoops, getting started in a few weeks on first down, almost intercepted. Now there is a penalty flag thrown. Indiana sideline is going nuts. They can't believe it. Richard Fant, meanwhile, with a collision, is down on the field. So is a Spartans player. That's Matt Dotson. So the two guys collided. We'll see what the flag is.
Defense, number 16.
Holding.
10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
On Fant, who is still down on the turf and hurting. One of their very best players.
He was holding on Lewerke Nelson. Number 13 there, guys.
Yeah, tried to hit it with a skinny post, and you could see he clearly grabs, doesn't let go of the jersey. It's a good call by the official. But here's the contact that's led to both players involved in that contact being on the ground, getting looked at. Hope those guys are okay.
Richard Fant, not just one of Indiana's best players, one of the best cover guys in the Big Ten, maybe in the country.
I'm not so sure, Greg. You guys can see it from up there. If Nelson, 13 from Michigan State, from a route concept standpoint, should have released outside.
Maybe so. We're going to step aside while they look at Fant. Be back right after this. Good news is for Indiana, Richard Fant got up, walked off, and is on the sideline, looking like he should be available to come back in this game at some point. Easy for me to say. Ranks most among all active college players, passes defended in a career. So he is a big part of the defense. 3-0 Indiana. Second quarter, handoff L.J. Scott, and he will get close. Stopped short of a first down. Let's check in with Cassidy. All right, thanks, Cassidy. Syracuse, that was a monumental win for Dino Babers against Clemson. No easy task today going on the road against a good Hurricanes team, one of the best they've had in a while. Second down and short for the Spartans. Scott gets another carry. First down, out into the open, into Indiana territory, down close to the 41. Well, you think of Mark D'Antonio, you think of defense, but he's got quite a tradition of quarterbacks here with the Spartans. Drew Stanton, Brian Hoyer, Kirk Cousins, Connor Cook, they've all gone on to play in the NFL. We were talking to Mark yesterday, and he sees some qualities from several of those great Spartans QBs in his young sophomore, Brian Lewerke. Now, the production maybe hasn't matched those guys quite yet. But the aggression of Connor Cook, the leadership of Kirk Cousins, the confidence of Brian Hoyer, he mentioned all those things. He really feels like there is a big future ahead for number 14. Scott on the pitch, stopped for a loss of a half yard.
I think they do a great job here in East Lansing evaluating quarterbacks that have the it factor. So often you look at arm strength and you look at accuracy. It's easy to pick out guys and recruit guys that can throw the ball well in shorts. But when the moment is big, when the lights are bright, how tough is he? How good of a leader is he? And Tom, they've done a great job over the course of Mark D'Antonio's tenure identifying those qualities and finding guys in the Midwest to come be their guy.
Second and 10, Lewerke under center, will play fake. Rolling to his left, got those shoulders squared around. He's got a wide open target. It's complete inside the 30, Darrell Stewart.
When you're running the ball effectively, look at the reaction defensively by Indiana. Nobody on the perimeter, which allows Lewerke to easily exit the pocket. And a long comeback route on the outside that's so difficult to cover. Good route by Stewart, selling it and coming back to the football and picking up a huge play for the Spartan passing game.
Jonathan Crawford, the safety, who is a really good player, just got totally turned around. Now as Michigan State lines up for a first down play on offense, the Spartans call a timeout, and we'll take a timeout ourselves here from East Lansing. 3-0 Hoosiers. It is time for our Aflac trivia question. Indiana, Michigan State, they play for that thing. It's called the brass spittoon, the old brass spittoon. Our question, what is the longest running trophy game in the Big Ten?
I'm telling you, I watch games all day on Saturday. And I feel like I always know the trivia question, or at least come close. I mean, have a guess that's close. And then I watch our game, and I have no clue. So I've gotten 1 right out of 8. That's not the completion percentage that I'm looking for. Not good.
The answer is not the old brass spittoon. It's only been around since 1950. So there's your hint. On first down, L.J. Scott breaks 1 tackle. Gets a few
Is it the
yards.
axe? Is it the axe?
I'm going to say it's something involving Minnesota.
The
I don't
brown
know why.
jug?
Oh, okay. You guys are getting close. Why don't we ask and answer our Aflac trivia question? It is the little brown jug.
Yeah.
Okay.
1909, Michigan and Minnesota. Screenplay. Scott with the catch. A great block. First down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal.
They do such a good job with their screen game here. It's not a fast screen. It's an extremely slow screen. Usually screens are about 2 count. I think theirs is about 2.5, maybe 3 count. 3 Mississippi, and they throw it. Man, are they effective doing it.
Lewerke straight ahead inside the 5, down to the 4. Eight minutes to go in the second quarter. Michigan State looking for their first points and trying to punch it in.
By far their best drive of the game so far. Have mixed run pass, have had a few explosive opportunities, and have been efficient on first and second down, something they didn't do in their first 4 drives.
This drive is 69 yards. Their first 4 combined were 41 total yards. So you're right. Easily their best offensive possession of this game. Second and goal. Spartans. Lewerke keeps it. That was well defended by the Hoosiers. Jonathan Crawford, the safety.
Great job by Crawford. He tried to go with a bit of a zone read with a sweep to the right-hand side. He played both players in the backfield on that one. And here on third down and goal, I'd use Brian Lewerke's athleticism. I would try to get him out of the pocket. So if, in fact, the pass options aren't there, he could potentially salvage it with his own legs. So I'd get him out of the pocket on a sprint to his right.
And that was the one thing, we made that comparison with all these great quarterbacks in recent Michigan State history. Mark D'Antonio said this guy has more scrambling ability than any of those guys. Pitch it out, and are they going to throw it back to Lewerke? They will. It is tipped up and incomplete.
Well, they used his athletic ability, but
Oh, was that dangerous, boys?
Man, on third and goal from the 5, it was Connor Hayward, rather.
Wow.
that wasn't his first option, too. Hayward's eyes were downfield in the middle of the field, and he found the outlet. Further proof, though, Indiana defensively, they are so well coached. You try a little gadget play, most teams would fall for it. Not the Hoosiers, though, and that's a credit to Tom Allen and what he's done in Bloomington with this defense.
The long drive, but the Spartans have to settle for a 23-yard field goal to tie the game 3-3. Similar game, at least in terms of feel, to last year in Bloomington, where these two teams went to overtime. Hoosiers missed a field goal that would have been a game winner, but a penalty flag for that leaping violation. And it gave Indiana another chance. Griffin Oaks kicked that one straight on through for a 24-21 win over number 17 at that point, Michigan State. It was a loss that kind of sent the Spartans down into a spiral. Indiana against teams from Michigan in their conference, and there are two of them, obviously, Michigan, Michigan State. The Hoosiers have been very tough these last few years.
Yeah, they have. They've been competitive. Now, they haven't always broken down that door, and that's something that we talked with Tom Allen about. Now, granted, he's only been in Bloomington a couple years, his first obviously now as the head coach, but they have to at some point. They take a lot of teams to the finish line, but they don't ever cross before those opposing teams. They got to figure out a way to make the critical plays when the game is as big as it can possibly be.
The word of the year for the Hoosiers was breakthrough. The Wi-Fi password in the football office is breakthrough. I mean, they talk about it over and over and over again. And they are looking for a breakthrough win here this afternoon in East Lansing. Well, Taco Bell is a proud partner of the College Football Playoff. Be on the lookout for Taco Bell student sections and passionate fans like these at games all season long. I guess you got to be passionate to dress up like that or that.
Now you talk about this team breaking out, guys. Keep in mind, I mean, this is the only team in the conference that has played Michigan State, Penn State, and Ohio State all in the first 6 weeks. The back half of their schedule is favorable, so the record is not necessarily indicative of how far this program has come.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams would be sitting at 0-3 in the conference if they played the 3 teams they have to this point.
Exactly. I mean, it's a great point, both of you. Morgan Ellison straight ahead. He's had some success on the ground in this first half, the true freshman running back.
Got to get more of it. This entire offense is predicated on the ground. They're not a real explosive group, and Ramsey's still young when it comes to throwing it. They got to be effective running the football.
They will hand it off again. This time Michigan State saw it coming. A loss. Number 35. Last few weeks he has been everywhere. Joe Bacci.
He's a big-time player. Asked him, is he more smart than athletic? And they said he's equally good at both. He's both athletic and a tremendous guy when it comes to preparation. Joe Bacci, he's going to be all Big Ten for a reason.
Last 8 combined plays on offense for Indiana. Total yards, 0. Peyton Ramsey in the pocket, throws. It is caught. What a catch in traffic, Simi Cobbs.
That's a great catch. And here comes the tempo of Indiana.
That first down. Indiana hustles to the line of scrimmage. They snap it quickly. Ramsey keeps it. Peyton Ramsey for a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
The tempo was smart. Just wanted to make sure that the catch didn't get reviewed. Now it was obvious that he caught it, but don't waste any time getting up there. Try to capitalize on that momentum.
Now another quick snap. Ramsey had to go down to pick it up, trying to make something happen. Avoided at least a big loss, but that one was doomed from the start. So you go quick tempo. That's 2 plays in a row that haven't looked real comfortable.
Yeah, Hunter Littlejohn, the center, putting it back to Peyton Ramsey, just end over end. Not much you can do. You got to cut your losses. And Peyton Ramsey now has a daunting 3rd and long coming up against a stout and aggressive Spartan defense.
Timian, the slot receiver, in motion. From the shotgun, pressure picked up, throw across the middle. Cobbs complete. He's going to be tackled though short of the first down.
It was all hustle right there by number 99, Raequan Williams. Defensive tackle. Ball is thrown to a wide receiver on 3rd and long. Most D tackles are pinning their ears back. They're rushing the passer. Not Williams. He tracks back as soon as the ball leaves Ramsey's hands. And go makes the play short of the sticks to force the punt. Great job by the defensive tackle. All effort.
Whitehead, the punter. Cody White, the return man. A little more of a line drive end over end kick. White will get hit inside the 10 and dropped. Well, I mean, you look at the scoreboard. It is 3-3. Dave Fleming here with Greg McElroy, Tom Luganville. Fun to be part of this crew here in the Big Ten this week. The punts have been big plays today.
Yeah, they have. I mean, it's been a game of field position. You saw one mistake by Michigan State where they fumbled in their own end. Their defense goes out, and then 3 plays later, Indiana settling for a field goal. Michigan State's had one offensive drive that was really nice. We'll see if they can capitalize on some of that momentum that was created. But for the most part, it's been a defensive battle. It's kind of a tug-of-war, an old-school slugfest that you come to love here in the Big Ten.
And number 3, L.J. Scott, there was question coming into this game. How much would he play? Would he play at all? It was unclear. He has been an impact player for the Spartans as they've gotten the offense going. He was back in there for Michigan State. I mean, 7 arrests in 2 years for a similar issue. That's a big number. Scott straight ahead. Not that those arrests were overly malicious. I mean, it's a young college-age kid, not paying parking tickets, stuff like that. It gets the license suspended, doesn't get it renewed, keeps on driving. Okay, you're not supposed to do it. But when it happens that many times, I think there were some folks who thought that the punishment might be a little stiffer. He missed a series today, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it's a little light, to be frank. I know that it's been citations, but it's an accountability, and you can't continue to do the same thing over and over again and not pay the consequences at some point. Not starting a game, frankly, that's not enough for me. I think he should have been suspended for a little bit longer.
Somebody with pressure coming on 2nd down. Lewerke will throw on the move. It is caught. And that extra effort at the end by Noah Davis, the tight end, got the first down. Noah, though, is down and hurting. holding that left leg or ankle.
And you hate to see that. As he was running away, got tackled and kind of fell on that left leg, and he's grabbing it, as you can see, and he's in a lot of pain. Certainly hope that he's okay.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened right there.
Yeah. Number 99, Stallings, makes the tackle, and that left leg just didn't get underneath Noah Davis. So it's a scary hit right there. Certainly hope that everything's fine.
So the freshman is down while we have a moment and they look at Noah Davis. Let's check in with Cassidy in studio. All right, thanks, Cassidy. Not that we're rooting for sides in that Alabama-Tennessee matchup, but our friend and colleague Joey Galloway, I do believe he said he would quit his job if Tennessee won that game. We don't want that to happen. So it looks like Joey's going to stay as part of our college football crew.
But does he need the money, guys? I mean, that's really the question here, isn't it?
He had a pretty long, distinguished NFL career, Joey Galloway.
You know, that was a really good play there by Brian Lewerke. And, you know, in his defense in the passing game, guys, is keep in mind Michigan State's going to get the ball coming out of the third quarter. They've played the last 2 weeks in horrendous weather conditions. So you haven't seen the best of the passing game from Brian Lewerke, but that was a really nice play on the move.
They are reviewing the play to make sure that not only the catch was made, but then the first down was made. Let's see what we see.
You can see Davis. Where's the ball when his body goes down?
And you know, you hate to do it, but he gets hurt there and the ball starts to come out. You can imagine the pain and the reaction, and maybe they're looking at both aspects of it. Where is the ball, and did he complete the catch all the way through the ground?
Yeah, I think he definitely completed the catch, and he's down right there, but the ball looks as though it should be spotted at the 18-yard line.
Down. And 1 yard to go on the right hash. Third down on the 18-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to spot it at the 18. That's about where that ball, you saw that knee go down, and the ball, wherever that ball is at, you take a snapshot and you spot it right there, and that's exactly where the officials will line it up, right there on the right hash at the 18-yard line.
Now, this is no gimme against the Indiana defense. Seems funny to say that, doesn't it? Indiana does not have a distinguished history of great defense, and yet Tom Allen has come to Bloomington and totally changed that. Indiana's defense is formidable.
They are. They actually kind of have molded themselves after Michigan State in a lot of ways.
I agree with you. They'll hand it off to Scott, and he's not going to get it. Not even close. Ball comes out at the end. They blew the play dead. It's fourth down. So that review turns into a huge play. Scott had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I mean, that was nothing but surge by the defensive tackles of Indiana. And that's the strength. I mean, those two guys do a great job. Unsung heroes for sure. Nate Hoff in particular, number 74. He's big, he's strong, and he's right there at the point of attack. And you can see, I mean, the offensive line for Michigan State gets pushed back, and it's a very easy tackle for loss. And Tom Allen's loving what he's seeing, the physical presence up front for his defense.
Still got a few hops, Tom Allen. 9th combined punt, and that's not a great punt. Really nice play by Harris to come up and take it. Can he get away? No. But he did save some field position for Indiana. I think that was a heck of a play by Jayshun Harris. Not going to go as a dynamic return or anything, but that one helps the Hoosiers offense. Time for our college football rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. A lot of changes in the last couple weeks, huh?
Yeah, that top 10 does not look anything like the top 10 that we saw last week. It's changed quite a bit. College football, especially in mid-October, always seems to deliver some chaos, and that's exactly what we got last week.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Alabama, of course. Penn State and Michigan tonight going to be off the charts. Oklahoma State surviving. It's tough to wear the target in college football.
Hopefully the tight end Noah Davis is okay. He's headed back toward the locker room. Indiana football. The throw incomplete. Not handled by Whop Fillier. It's second down.
And Tom, this is a 2-minute situation. I know that there's 2 minutes and 14 seconds left, but don't need to be in a huge hurry offensively if you're Indiana. But the last time we saw Peyton Ramsey in a 2-minute situation against Michigan, that was maybe the best drive he's had as a college player.
Yeah, he made all the best throws, and he's got to be smart. He seems to have some situational awareness as well.
2nd down and 10, trying to take advantage of good field position. That throw is caught. There are a couple different flags. Is that a chop block?
I think it is.
Luke Timian with the catch, but this one is going backwards in a big way, I think.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, number 24 and 57, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It's a bad one, Greg.
Yeah. It was clear as day. Just watch the blitzing linebackers coming through the A gap, clearly engaged right there by the center, and the running back goes underneath, and that's exactly what a chop block is. If in fact the defender is engaged, you can't block the defender low and double team that guy below the waist.
And that's their experienced tailback, Mike Majette. He's got to know better than that. 2nd and 25. Indiana's offense just totally disjointed here. Going to set up a little wide receiver screen type play. Luke Timian got a yard.
Greg, it gives you an idea of just how critical a penalty like that is. You get a couple of throws, you're past midfield, and you're in field goal range.
Yeah.
Going into the half here, this is a crucial penalty.
And Michigan State wants to save some time. That penalty also motivates the Spartans to try to get the ball back and get themselves into scoring position. Maybe they played a little more conservatively if you don't get the big penalty. So it all sort of works together. 3rd and 23 coming up tonight. Now you do have to stay up pretty late here in Michigan. 1:45 a.m. after Colorado and Washington State wrap up in Pullman. Stick around for SportsCenter at night. Kirk Herbstreit's going to have his top 4 teams break down the college football playoff race after week 8. All kinds of other stuff. Linda Cohn and Stan Verrett will be live. SportsCenter tonight, late night after all the college football is finished. Washington State trying to bounce back from an embarrassing performance last week in Berkeley. Indiana 3rd and 23. They've only converted 1 3rd down all game. They're just going to hand it off here. Morgan Ellison gets some field position back. You can kind of see that one coming. Will Michigan State use its final timeout? They will. Why not? Save the time. Ellison, meanwhile, is holding that left arm or shoulder sort of dangling by the side as he gets off the field. And that would be a significant loss for an Indiana offense that has not played real well here in the first half. And credit Michigan State for their defensive effort. I mean, Michigan State's defense is a good unit. The turnover led to the 3 points. Otherwise, they'd be shutting out the Hoosiers.
Yeah, they really haven't had any consistency either through the air or on the ground. Now, running the football is their bread and butter and has been for the last 4 or 5 years. And you look at Michigan State, they've been up to the task. I mean, they have been one of the better defensive units over the last decade against the run. No surprise that they've held up well against a very capable Indiana team to this point.
And Luke's made the point, you did too, a minute ago. That penalty just has changed everything about these final 2 minutes. It motivated Michigan State to use the timeouts. Now we'll see what the special teams does. That's a pretty good looking punt all the way back inside the 10 for the true freshman White, who gets tackled inside the 10. So the special teams may very well have bailed out the Hoosiers there. I would be surprised if the Spartans are going to be real aggressive. Isaac James with the nice coverage tackle. So you use the timeouts hoping to get better field position, maybe let your offense try to get into field goal range. This part of the field, I don't know.
You run it a couple times.
And Indiana's got 2 timeouts.
You do. You run it a couple times and see if your backs, which are the strength of your football team, see if they break one. If they get a first down and you get nice field position, maybe down around the 30, that's when you start to implement some tempo. But right now, you just run the football and see if you can break one. And if you can, then you adjust what your plan might be from a field position standpoint to try to steal points before the half.
Very modest numbers for Brian Lewerke in the first half. Neither passing offense has done a whole lot. They will hand it off to L.J. Scott. Indiana stuffs him right at the line of scrimmage. Now will Tom Allen use his timeouts?
No, Greg, the challenge for both of these teams is they don't have explosive playmakers on the perimeter that can create matchups. So when you get into a 2-minute type situation, you don't have a way generally of getting big chunk yards to give yourself a chance.
Right. Right here, I actually applaud Tom Allen to wait to call that timeout, because you don't want to call timeout right now and then Michigan State breaks one and then they have additional time on the clock. Let's see if you stop them here, then you think about burning one and then potentially using one after the third down to set yourself up to potentially steal some points yourself.
Remember, Indiana's got arguably the most explosive punt returner in the country. So special teams, you can put a little pressure on with the return game. Scott gets a couple of yards. Now they will use a timeout, so that's exactly how Tom Allen wanted to play it, with 41 seconds to go in a tie game, 3-3.
I think that's definitely by the book. That's what you do. And Tom Allen, the first-year head coach, certainly not a rookie when it comes to coaching, but a rookie coaching at this level in his first year as the guy calling all the shots. A good decision right there when it comes to clock management.
And remember, at the end of last year's regular season, I mean, there was turmoil in this Indiana football program. Kevin Wilson, who'd been there for a long while and had some signature wins, he and Indiana parted ways, and how that happened, still maybe not 100% sorted out. Tom Allen, who was the defensive coordinator for Kevin Wilson, takes over. And I think all of us believe it may take some time. Not a huge tradition of football success at Indiana, but I do believe they've got the right guy in charge.
No, they do. He's fiery, but he always says, look, I coach from the heart and I coach to the heart. That's what I think is what's really special. This guy's invested in Indiana too. He's from Indiana.
It's
he
his dream
understands
job.
The culture. It's his dream job. It's not a stepping stone on the way to a bigger potential opportunity. He loves where he's at, and I think he's embraced it.
3rd and 8. Scott gets the handoff. L.J. Scott will be tackled short of the first down, and now they will use their final timeout. 34 seconds to go, and so Indiana can line up the punt return team. We get a chance to remind you, kick off your week 7 of the NFL schedule, 10 Eastern on ESPN tomorrow. Patriots Falcons have their Super Bowl rematch lined up. Tom Brady and Matt Ryan both sitting down for an inside look at the biggest comeback in Super Bowl history, plus a lot more. Countdown will stream live on the ESPN app.
Something tells me that Matt Ryan's body language during that interview might be a little different than Tom Brady's.
I think it could be.
I think he might approach that a little bit differently. I tell you what, though, man, Tom Brady at 40 years old, looks as good as he's ever looked. It's amazing.
And it still haunts the Falcons. You go back and look at that Super Bowl. How did that happen? Ugh, that's a tough one to take. Harris, with his punt return prowess, will have a chance to return one here to midfield and stumbles ahead. Kind of lost his balance at the end there. He is inside Michigan State territory now. They got a field goal kicker with a good leg, Griffin Oakes. 25 seconds, no timeouts, but you can clock it. You can stop it on a first down. Indiana looking for a lead into the locker room at halftime. They have not beaten Michigan State back-to-back since the late 1960s. Playing them tough here today.
Tom, you were in high school the last time Indiana beat them back-to-back, were you not?
By the way, you know what? I think this 2-minute drive started in the 1960s.
I'm telling you.
Holy smokes.
It has been strange the last couple minutes of this first half.
Well, I think you got to be smart here if you're Peyton Ramsey, though. Take what the defense gives you and don't try to do too much and try to get too much yardage.
The field goal kicker has a career long of 58. Ramsey will go over the middle. Cobbs, can he get to that sideline? Well, the ball's out. He fumbles it. Who's going to recover a scramble for the football? I think the Hoosiers pounced on it.
Indiana offensive lineman's got it.
Yeah, now Indiana's just going to be happy to get to the locker room. My goodness. It was Joe Bocci who stripped the ball away. Tom Allen's thinking, let's get out of here.
Wow. I mean, what a heads-up play by Bocci, too, to get that right arm on the football and rip it out. To all but squash the 2-minute drive, that's for sure. What a way to end the first half.
It is squashed. Tom Allen is a little squashed himself, I think. Not that happy. So Michigan State will get it after halftime. It's 3-3. Hoosiers and the Spartans. Well, tonight Beaver Stadium is going to be wild. Penn State, Michigan, number 2, number 19 in the Big Ten. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Right here on ABC. It'll stream live on the ESPN app. A huge game for the Nittany Lions. Indiana looking for a big win here in East Lansing. Their running backs coach Mike Hart, of course, well known by everybody in this state and in this stadium. Not necessarily in this stadium a beloved figure. Mike Hart, the former Wolverine. And you know, you think back to all those years ago, 2007, Mike Hart, one of the greats in Michigan history. That was his quote about Michigan State. Sometimes you get your little brother excited when you're playing basketball and let him get the lead, then you just come back and take it back. And Mark D'Antonio did not like that, and he made an issue of it.
Yeah.
And since then, the Spartans have totally dominated that head-to-head series.
Yeah, most recently, a few weeks ago, their defense forcing 5 turnovers en route to the victory against Michigan. So Michigan State is a proud program, and so is Mark D'Antonio as a coach.
If you just say little brother around here, everybody thinks of that guy, Mike Hart. It'll be 3rd down for the Spartans. Let's check in with Cassidy. In Manhattan, Kansas.
Wow.
I mean, you know, Bill Snyder, home team, underdog, not a big surprise, I don't think.
Yeah.
There's still a long way to go in that game.
What happened to Oklahoma since they started Big 12 play? I mean, they've played to the level of every single opponent, including Baylor.
Yeah, you're right about that. 3rd down, Lewerke in the pocket, now has to dump it off short to London, who spins away from the tackle and gets the 1st down.
Just a great individual effort by London. Just a check down. Lewerke understands, look, nothing's there downfield. I'll give it to my best ball carrier that's currently on the field. And London makes him right by breaking a tackle and bursting forward for the conversion. One of the few 3rd down conversions that we've seen so far today.
That was a nice play. Tony Fields is a good tackler ordinarily. Could not get London to the ground. So 1st down, Spartans. They will give it on that jet sweep action to Stewart, who cannot get away. Stewart dragged down for a loss of a couple yards.
No, Greg, Dave, you got to credit Brian Lewerke there. That was really one of the few times we've seen in this passing game where he worked through his progressions, and passing game coordinator Dave Warner told us this week that's one thing he wants to get him to do a little bit more of. Not rely on the feet, not rely on the athleticism, stick to the offense, play within it, and taking that check down was a prime example. Really well done by the young quarterback.
You're right, Tom. As a quarterback at the high school level, you're probably the best player on your team more often than not. First instinct is to tuck it and run yourself. Giving it to your ball carrier's best option.
2nd and long. Lewerke was trying to dump it short, now throws incomplete. Intended for Stewart. Well, I'm not saying I don't believe Mark D'Antonio. In fact, exactly the opposite. I think he deserves every benefit of the doubt when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks. But you hear all the praise of Brian Lewerke, what a great player he's going to be, how physically talented he is. And I get it that he's young. He's only started 8 games in his career. But you do look for some signs of that talent to start popping up in gameplay.
But you have to look at his supporting cast, too. And he certainly, has he been elite? Has he been a Heisman contender? No. But neither has his wide receiver core. Those guys have to step up.
That's a good point. On 3rd down, that throw is incomplete. And his receiver Risen looking for a penalty flag, sort of got turned around. Tony Fields, after missing the tackle that allowed the 1st down conversion, made a good tackle for a loss and then was in coverage there.
Yeah, and there's definitely some contact. And I understand why Michigan State fans are shaking their head in disgust. And there were some boos heard in this stadium, but I think it was a good no call. Both players were jockeying for the football. There was some contact, but it seemed incidental to me.
Hartbarger, a little pressure that time on the punt. Harris fair catch at about the 13-yard line. The field position game continues on from East Lansing. It's 3-3.
College football on ABC, presented by Kay Jewelers, is brought to you by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
Well, homecoming weekend, maybe a little bleary-eyed. This game hasn't inspired a whole lot of excitement yet, and yet we could be coming down to the wire. 3-3, Indiana and Michigan State. We said it at the top. One team 3-0 in Big Ten play, one team 0-3. But you put the tape on, you watch them play, they seem very evenly matched.
Their personnel is incredibly similar. Even on the field before the game, if you would have taken Indiana's team, dressed them in green jerseys, and vice versa with Michigan State, you might not have been able to tell the difference.
First down, Hoosiers. After the punt, Ellison got the ball and was swarmed. Lost 2.5 yards on first down. Andrew Dowell led the way.
At some point, Indiana's got to throw the ball on first down. They've yet to do it yet in this game. And yet you're 35 minutes of playing time in, and they haven't attempted to pass on first down. Therefore, Michigan State can key on the run every single time.
2nd and 12, Ramsey in the pocket. He's got plenty of time going downfield. Incomplete. He had Ja'Shawn Harris with some separation there.
He had him. Just a little bit more air under this deep ball, and what a great route by Harris. You saw the little stagger. It's called a stutter go, and to run it from the slot spot is not something you see very often. That could have been a touchdown. Those are ones you have to complete, and something that Ramsey will have to work on as he progresses throughout his career.
The redshirt freshman, not yet a proficient downfield passer. 3rd and 12. How aggressive will Indiana be this part of the field? Stepping up, throwing short. The ball delivered in stride, and the lunge by Ricky Brookins close to the first down, but I think he spotted about a yard short. It's close.
Oh, they're giving it to him, fellas.
Wow.
Wow. I was standing right here on that sideline. There's chunks of yardage coming out here.
And they're going to stop the play.
On the white sideline here,
Going
right
on
to
the
the
field
left of the
is a
head
completed
lineman.
catch for a first down. Plays under further review.
Wow. I mean, now I'm okay with this review. This is a huge play in the game. Now look, does any part of his body go down? Where's the ball when it does in fact go down? A lot to take into account right here.
That was a pretty good effort by the junior Ricky Brookins, who's not a huge part of this offense. At least to have some awareness of where that first down mark was. Is the knee down yet? I don't think so. He reaches that ball forward.
Remember, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field, and the call on the field is a first down. You can see, is he down anywhere? Doesn't look like he is. You can see both knees above the turf as he extends and lunges for that first down.
Guys, if you look at this down here on the field right here, here is what you're seeing up there on that screen. That's his body going out. That's his body going out, but there was the ball, see?
Yeah.
The ball's over here.
After further review, ruling on the field stands, first down.
Good call.
Yeah, I think that's the correct call. I mean, there's not enough evidence on the field to overturn it. And they didn't say call confirmed, so video replay couldn't say, oh, for sure, yes, absolutely. They just basically said, look, we don't have enough to make a change as to what these guys called already.
How about Luke's being in the right spot?
Well done, Luke. Way to anticipate where the ball's going.
That's a first down for Indiana. So now in this game, we have more first downs than punts. Cole Guest, the tailback, they give it to him for a gain of 2. One more first down than combined punts. It has been a defensive special teams kind of game. Indiana, they have run 2 plays across midfield on offense in this game, other than after they recovered the fumble deep in Michigan State territory and got their 3 points. Ramsey wide open. Harris cuts upfield and gets tackled at the 39. That's another Hoosiers first down, and now they're going to go fast.
Yeah, this is where the tempo really gets going. In Indiana, the longer their drives are, the more plays they run, the more difficult it is on the defense. So playing with tempo can certainly be an advantage here after a few first downs.
Peyton Ramsey will hand it off. Guest ran into a blocker but bounced off and got 4, almost 5 yards. Lewerke made the tackle. Michigan State's going to try to substitute here. 10th drive for Indiana. 3 3-and-outs. 7 first downs, 7 punts for the Hoosiers, but moving the ball a little bit here. A little wide receiver screen type play across the middle. And the tackle short by a yard. Devontae Williams, the running back, was split out wide as a receiver.
Yeah, and that screen game's been beneficial to them. They've used a lot of different personnel on those tunnel screens.
Morgan Ellison comes back in, the top tailback on 3rd and a yard. They fake it and throw it into the right flat. First down to Hoosiers. The tight end, Ryan Watercutter.
You see the passing game getting going. I mean, that's what this team has struggled with. Michigan State forever under Mark D'Antonio. They're going to sell out to stop the run. You're going to have to beat them through the air. Indiana's starting to realize that and having some success by throwing the football.
They haven't been in this part of the field very much today. On first down, Ramsey, another play fake, throwing it again. He's got a receiver open on the sideline. That's Cobbs, who gets upended and stopped just a little bit short, a gain of 9.
That's the first time we've seen Indiana drop back and throw a pass on 1st and 10. First time in the entire game, and look what happens. You have a chance at a potential shot here with 2nd and short.
He's got a nice little rhythm going now, Peyton Ramsey. Another pass attempt coming down the sideline. Cobbs got held up, and here comes not just 1 but 2 penalty flags. I think that was a pretty easy call.
There's your shot play. 2nd and short. You know you can come back and get it on 3rd and 1. Throw it downfield in plus territory.
Pass interference, defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I tell you what, for Justin Lane, he was beat. So I think he just figured I better commit this penalty, otherwise it might be 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously better than a touchdown. Now you'd love to stack the receiver and push him and ride him to the sideline. Wasn't able to do that. Cobbs, a very capable target, gets on top.
He got caught peeking.
He did. He got caught peeking, and that play action in the backfield held him up and allowed the one-on-one downfield.
It's only the 2nd Michigan State penalty, but that's a pretty big one. Inside the 25, 1st and 10 Hoosiers moving the ball. Ramsey scrambling. Ramsey throws the ball away. Michigan State fans now looking for the holding penalty flag. It never came.
They wanted a hold on big 98, Demetrius Cooper, the left defensive end.
Probably could have gotten one, too.
Yeah.
When quarterbacks escape the pocket, usually those offensive linemen hold on for dear life. That might have been the case there. I think the officials might have missed one.
Tight end in motion, Ryan Watercutter. They give it to Ellison, who's hit immediately and dropped. I don't think we've seen Ian Thomas all game long. The top tight end for Indiana. He is such a great weapon in the pass game, and he's been banged up.
Especially at this part of the field, too. As you start to approach the red zone, the bigger the targets are, the more beneficial they can become. Ian Thomas, big tight end, 6'5". He's missed as they start to approach pay dirt for the Spartans.
3rd and 10. Ramsey in the pocket. Another screen coming. Well defended. Cobbs with the catch, but he goes backwards. And that's going to force a little bit longer field goal try. Kari Willis with a good play.
How big a down is this right now in the kicking game for Indiana, guys?
Huge.
Oh,
Huge. Absolutely huge.
We got more than 20 minutes of gameplay to go, but the way this game has been played, I mean, you never know. This could be the difference in the game right here.
Yep.
Points are at a premium, and Indiana has a lot of faith in their field goal kicker.
44-yard try coming up. He made one from 33, the only Indiana points earlier in the game. Good snap and hold. The kick is up, and it is good. Right down the middle for Griffin Oakes, who won the game against the Spartans in overtime last year with a field goal. He puts Indiana ahead this year on the road with 5:31 to go in the 3rd quarter.
By far, the best drive from Indiana offensively all day. Griffin Oakes puts it through, and Ramsey loves it.
Start of the 4th quarter here in East Lansing. 6-3 Indiana looking for their first Big Ten win. They have had to run the gauntlet. The schedule has been so tough for the Hoosiers. They've been so close. The word of the year for Indiana football, breakthrough, looking for a breakthrough win here against the Spartans. On 2nd down, Ramsey throws. That pass is caught. Ellison cuts it upfield. Another Indiana first down inside the 30. And Greg said it a few minutes ago before the last possession. Got to open it up a little bit. Start to let Ramsey move the ball through the air. He has. He's developed a rhythm. And the Indiana offense looks totally different. Ellison will take the handoff from Ramsey. He got a yard.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And Michigan State always has prided itself on stopping the run, making you beat them through the air, and beat one-on-one coverage on the perimeter. To this point, Indiana hadn't tested them the last couple drives they have, and they've been rewarded with some of their most productive offense that we've seen so far today.
Jacob Panashuk, the true freshman defensive lineman, is down on the turf, so we're going to step aside. 6-3 Hoosiers. What a big game on Monday Night Football in the NFC East. It's the Redskins and the Eagles, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Monday Night Countdown at 6 Eastern, served by Applebee's. Carson Wentz and the Eagles offense. And then a former Spartan, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And Washington on the road in division play here. His Spartans down in the fourth quarter against Indiana, 6-3. Ramsey on the move, is going to throw it back toward the goal line, and contact. Here come the penalty flags. It just came too early, intended for Devontae Williams.
Pass interference, defense, number 23, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
This was clear as day. Obviously, Frey is beaten on the play. You can't go tackle the receiver. That's the easiest call that these officials will ever make. And how about Indiana? Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator, dialing up the throwback.
I like the call. It wasn't a great throw.
Yeah, if he doesn't underthrow that, it might have been a touchdown.
But it is a first down on a penalty. First and goal. No, they can get a first down at about the 1-yard line. And now what are they going to do? Play clock. You got to reset the play clock. Well, the Hoosiers offense has come to life these last two drives. Can they punch it in? If they can, that is going to be huge. Ellison, the true freshman. I mean, we've already got a 3-point lead, a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. The way the Indiana defense has played puts the Spartans in a very bad spot. Second down, going quickly. Ellison again. Inside the 5, down to the 4. Remember, they can get a first down at about the 1.
That tempo is still being utilized, even though they're right on the cusp of potentially punching it in, going with the exact same play on consecutive offensive snaps. Gives them a third and very manageable down here.
When you see Morgan Ellison, he was hot. I don't know if something happened after the play where he got pushed or leaned on. He's got to get himself together. He's still in this game. What a big play this is. 3rd and 3 from the 4. Ramsey, handoff. Ellison stopped, and not really even close. And now you figure you got to kick it, don't you?
Yeah, have to. Possessions are just too hard to come by at this point of the game, and points have been at a premium. So you have to kick it, trying to run it, maybe make a decision to potentially go for it if they would have gained a few more, but brought up well short of the first down. 3 straight inside runs. A little surprised after they were so creative to get to that point that they would go with base offense on 3 consecutive snaps and not be able to pick up the first down or score the touchdown.
I don't like it. I mean, that was just so conservative. 21-yard try. That one is up and good. Kick was pressured a little bit, but Griffin Oaks is having a nice game, and Indiana pads the lead. Their 3rd field goal, 12:29 to go. 9-3 Hoosiers.
College football on ABC is presented by Kay Jewelers. Kay Jewelers, who would like to remind you that right now it's engagement season. In part by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And Nissan, innovation that excites.
Homecoming weekend in East Lansing, and the Hoosiers trying to spoil the party. The last time they held a Big Ten opponent to a single-digit score, 2001, 13-7 win against Purdue. Michigan State, with 12:29 left to go, has 3 points on the board.
Been so impressive over the last few years to watch this Indiana defense really come into their own. They have been so much better
since one guy showed
got
up
there. That's really, and that's, you can look at it specifically from the time that he arrived to where they are before and after. It's amazing.
Instant, huge improvement. Connor Hayward in the end zone will take a knee. That's another touchback. Time for our Pacific Life game summary. Well, it has been the defenses on both sides that have dominated. But Peyton Ramsey, rather, in the second half has started to move the ball through the air a little bit more effectively.
And they've opened it up for him, too. So you have to give credit to Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator, throwing on what's been a traditional rundown for Indiana. Look, Michigan State defensively continues to be elite. They are outstanding. And they're relying on some youth defensively, which is rare. But they're going to sell out, and they're going to make you throw it. That's exactly what they've done to this point. They haven't been effective running it. Mike DeBoer recognized it, and in the second half, he's called a much better game for the quarterback.
Until they got inside the 11, and then they ran the ball 3 times and had to kick the field goal. Pressure to Lewerke, who takes a hit, and the penalty flag is thrown. Man, hopefully Lewerke is okay. Damian Willis got in there. The flag came in the secondary.
Fant is awfully handsy from his corner position, guys.
Pass interference. Defense, number 16. Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, Fant is a very physical, very aggressive corner. There's a reason why he has so much production when it comes to pass breakups. One of the best in college football. And how about the hit on Lewerke? Yeah, that's low. I mean, you could be very, very careful if you're a defensive player, because we've seen them implement that rule. If you hit a quarterback low when he's in a passing posture, that can be roughing the quarterback.
I think that should have been. Handoff, Scott cuts it upfield and gets tackled at the 39, a gain of 4.
It's the Tom Brady rule. Remember, of course, he tore his ACL many, many years ago. Got hit low as he was releasing the football. They tried to make game safer, especially for the quarterback position. That hit was definitely below the belt.
Scott on 2nd and 6. Stopped maybe 3 yards short of the first down.
Right here, you have to at some point get Lewerke outside the pocket. They've kept him in the pocket for a majority of the ball game. That's fine. But one of his best attributes is as a runner. So give him that run pass option. Roll him to the right where you have a lot of green grass, to the wide side of the field, and maybe get him into a position where he can throw a quick out route or a quick hitch route.
3rd and 3. Hayward leaves the backfield. Lewerke is sprinting out to the right. Immediately pressured. The ball comes out. He got hit. The ball was knocked away. Now one of his offensive line teammates, that's Cole Chewins, the left tackle, pounced on it. But Michigan State's going to have to punt it away.
Big Greg Gooch.
Greg Gooch coming off the left-hand side. You can see him. Big number 49 on the left. Rolling to his right. Lewerke, he's got to keep going. That's a great job defensively by number 47, Robert McCray. He forced Lewerke to stop his forward momentum, and Lewerke doesn't feel the presence coming from the backside that resulted in the sack fumble.
I think that was the key to the play. That's a returnable punt for Harris, who can be so dangerous. That's a flag, though. Illegal block. 2 flags come down. So the Hoosiers, I'm sure, were thinking, hey, we have a chance to have some good field position. Instead, they're going backwards. It was borderline, but the flag
During
came
the return, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 36, 10-yard penalty. First down. Timeout.
Johnny Albamani commits the block in the back. We'll take a look at it. Indiana's getting the ball back here, where a score might put the game away. They lead 9-3. Well, it feels like finally some excitement and life here inside Spartan Stadium. You can understand why folks have been mostly quiet. The Michigan State offense has been almost entirely silent.
They have, and they've been backed up too. I mean, their average drive start to this point has been their own 21-yard line. Now, after a big stop by their defense, they get it back at their own 45 with a chance to cut down this lead or potentially take the lead with a touchdown.
Down 6, 9+ to go. 4th quarter. Play fake Lewerke. He's going to throw down the left sideline, incomplete. Here comes a flag. Richard Fant, another penalty against him.
Pass interference, defense, number 16, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Tell you what, I don't agree with this call at all. Now, yes, there's some contact.
Wow.
But that's a bad call. I mean, Fant is trying to go up and make a play on the ball. The ball sails out of bounds. It's uncatchable. I know that there's some contact. I get that. I see the left hand tugging. I understand all that. But this is a close game where a penalty could turn the tables. And the officials right there getting involved when I thought could have very easily kept that flag in their pocket.
Indiana's over 100 yards in penalties in this game. Lewerke, incomplete. Sails one right over his tight end, Matt Sokol.
Michigan State starting to get a little aggressive on offense. We've seen them run, and then throw on third down when necessary. Now they're starting to understand that, look, this Indiana defense, they're stout against the run. This is a group that, don't forget, held Saquon Barkley from a rushing standpoint to only 56 yards on 20 carries. So this is a good group against the run. Michigan State understanding the path of least resistance might be through the air.
2nd and 10. Here comes the pressure. Lewerke cannot get away. Sacked back near midfield by Chris Covington.
Covington coming off the right-hand side and just slipping inside that right tackle. Number 75, Kevin Jarvis, the right guard, just a little late to try to save a life. And Covington makes a huge play on 2nd down.
3rd Indiana sack. A loss of 9 yards. It's 3rd and 19. And out of field goal range, Lewerke is going to be pressured again. He'll throw middle. It's caught by White. And White gets tackled short of the first down. Tony Fields, for the moment, saves it for the Hoosiers. Now what does Michigan State do? They don't have the same kind of field goal kicking game that Indiana does. I think they're going for it.
What a great tackle. They are going to go for it. If they went for it on the last drive, then what makes you think they're not going to go for it on the exact same situation on this drive? This time, however, I know Michigan State's hoping for more separation from their wide receivers and better accuracy from Lewerke.
That was a big-time tackle by Tony Fields right there.
Gives Indiana's defense a chance for a stop on 4th and 3. The throw is complete, and that's a first down. With that extra reach, that should be good enough, and it is from Hunter Rison.
Man, from 3rd and forever to a fresh set of downs inside Indiana's 30. A couple of huge plays from the Spartans offense and great throws by Lewerke when they absolutely had to have him.
And a smart play by the true freshman. He recognized the name. Yeah, dad is Andre. True freshman made sure he got the ball across. They're going to pitch it and pitch it back to Felton Davis. Davis to the corner, to the 15 and inside the 15.
Little end around reverse. And Felton gets it with a lot of space in front and a few blockers, including his quarterback. That's a huge play when yards have been hard to come by, especially as you approach the Hoosiers end zone, to dial up a trick play and get some great production. Outstanding stuff as Indiana leads by 6.
9-3 Indiana. Good news, Damian Willis gets up. He took a shot from a teammate at the end of a 16-yard gain for the Spartans offense, down 6:55 to go in the 4th quarter. Hoosiers 9, Spartans 3. Michigan State 3-0 in Big Ten play. Indiana 0-3, and yet we said it right from the beginning. These two teams very evenly matched. This game has played out just like that. Tom Allen and his defense trying to hold Michigan State to a field goal.
And that's a testament to Mark D'Antonio and the program that he's built, because Tom Allen, now in his first year at Indiana, he is building his program to look awfully similar to Michigan State. They're not far off right now from a personnel standpoint. These two teams are awfully similar.
6:55 to go. First down, not quite first and goal. Inside the 15, ball right near the 13-yard line for the Spartans offense. L.J. Scott, the tailback, he'll get the carry straight ahead, jumps over one defender and got stacked up a gain of 2.
This is where Indiana's got to be careful on defense. You see these tight, condensed formations. Now they're going to substitute out a little bit, but those tight ends start leaking out and getting into corners of the end zone off of play action. Been very big for them here in their passing game.
And Tom, this Michigan State offense, they just haven't been able to consistently run the ball between the tackles. If they're going to run it, it might be best on the perimeter, but it looks like here with 3 wide receivers on the field, they might be thinking pass.
Scott alongside Brian Lewerke. 2nd and 7. They are going to pass. Lewerke toward the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Felton Davis. First time the Spartans have gotten into the end zone all day. Seven plays, 55 yards. They took advantage of great field position. They're a little more creative on offense and punch it in. The 10th touchdown pass of the year for Brian Lewerke. Now the extra point is huge. Matt Coughlin, who has made all 17 this year. You got to get organized on special teams. Can't take this one for granted. This is to unbreak the tie. Hold, kick is good, and Michigan State has the lead.
Well, Felton Davis hasn't had many opportunities, but when the moment is biggest against man-to-man coverage, they tag him on a corner route, and look at the separation that he creates from the corner Fant. Fant just loses him completely. And Davis is allowed to just backpedal right into the end zone. An easy pitch and catch, and a great drive by Brian Lewerke and this Spartan offense when they needed it most.
Indiana has really controlled this game in the second half, but they've had to settle for a field goal 2 times since halftime when they've been down fairly close. Michigan State gets their opportunity in the red zone, and they get the touchdown to take the lead. Still 5:59 to go. Javonte Williams at the goal line. Will he bring it out? Yes, he will, after a little hesitation. Well, maybe that was not the best decision. Williams does break some tackles to get it out near the 25. Time to take a look at the All-State All Hands in Play.
And it just happened on that last drive. A huge 4th and 3 conversion to Rison after an end around to Davis. They hit him in the passing game on the corner route. Felton Davis coming up huge for Michigan State those last 2 offensive snaps. And
there is an Indiana player down on the kick coverage. So Ellison, the freshman running back who is so important for their offense, while they look at him, we'll send it to studio and Cassidy. Wow, almost like used his shoulder pad as a vault. He was way up there, wasn't he?
I'm impressed with Cassidy's pronunciation.
Yeah, that was outstanding. What
Way
a great,
to go, man.
What an athletic
that was
play.
great.
That was a great play. My goodness.
That might be the hardest name in college football.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's tough for Oregon when they lost Justin Herbert. They just have not been the same.
Yeah, but it looks as though the UCLA's defense, a much maligned group, maybe they're starting to see the other side of what was a bad first half defensively.
Well, here we go. Indiana may not be their last possession, but they're down a point now. 10-9 with 5:50 to play. Dad, mom, sister watching Peyton, the quarterback, hand off to Guest straight ahead, and Guest, tough to bring down, gets 4 on first down. If you're going to play it that way, if you're going to keep the ball on the ground, sort of run your normal offense, there does have to be some urgency. You don't want this to be your final possession if you can't get points on the board. Ramsey, right sideline, Cobbs, incomplete, out of bounds, with Lane right on top of him. 3rd and 6.
Good job by Justin Lane, forcing Cobbs to the boundary. A lot of contact. It appeared as though Cobbs was going to come down out of bounds regardless. A huge play right here for Indiana. Not a gotta have it by any stretch of the imagination, but massive to keep some of this offensive momentum going if they can create some.
So no penalty. There was a huge pass interference penalty on the last Michigan State drive that helped the Spartans big time. Ramsey flushed, penalty flag thrown. I think that's going to be a hold. Ramsey will go down. And Ramsey took a shot. Bocce in there on the play. Peyton gets up limping.
Well, he took an awkward shot there in the lower body.
Presumably this one will be declined. He did not get the first down.
Holding. Offense. Number 58. Penalties declined. 4th down.
So they declined the penalty, and a punt coming up. Peyton Ramsey going to try to take some inventory on the sideline, make sure he's okay, and hope that he and the Hoosiers can get the ball back.
Yeah, and this is not the team that you want to be punting to in a 4-minute situation. Michigan State does such a great job from a ball control standpoint.
Whitehead will punt short. White, no fair catch. White gets tackled inside the 40. That's good kick coverage by Indiana. We talked all day about how Indiana's looking for that breakthrough win. It's not like they haven't won any of these close games. More to the point, last 2 years they've played a ton of them. Games decided by 7 points or fewer, 4-4 the last 2 years. Last year in overtime, 24-21 over these Michigan State Spartans. But down by 1, 10-9, 5:04 to go, leaning on the defense to get the ball back for the Hoosiers offense.
And this defense has done their job all day. They've really only given up a couple drives. And one of those drives is only 55 yards because this Spartan offense got it at their own 45. So this Hoosier defense has been up to the task. Let's see if they can get the ball back for their offense.
Michigan State would like to end the game with the ball, and that's what they're designed to do. They're going to hand it off. L.J. Scott, right side running. Scott, just no room. He pushes ahead for a yard, yard and a half. He has been a big factor. We weren't sure whether he was going to see the field after what happened this week, but L.J. Scott, given the opportunity, he has played pretty well.
He's a good back, and he's going up against a very formidable defense. Let's not lose sight of the fact that this defense just a few weeks ago allowed Saquon Barkley to pick up only 56 yards on the ground. Now, he made a play in the special teams and in the passing game, but on the ground, yards are hard to come by against this Hoosier defense. L.J. Scott hoping for a big one at some point.
Play clock down to 6. They snap it at 5 and play fake. Lewerke steps up. Lewerke stumbles ahead and maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down. Clock continues to roll.
Well, this could be the ball game right here for this Indiana defense.
A lot of time left.
And they do have all 3 timeouts.
Yep.
That is a good point.
But Indiana has not been able to sustain much offensively all day long. So if they're backed up, it could be very difficult.
If Michigan State converts, you probably have to start using those timeouts on the next set of downs. So this is an enormous play for the Hoosiers' chances. Michigan State letting the clock wind down. 3.5 minutes to go. They get the play snapped. Lewerke throws middle. It is caught. And right at the yardage, it's Risen again. First down. He needed 8. He got about 8.5. Is he down? No. He got there.
He did. And of course, that yellow line is not official. But the extra surge.
Plays under further review.
With the forward momentum, it appears as though Hunter Risen has the play of the game offensively with the conversion.
He's only had 2 catches. Both of them have been for huge first downs. One on 4th. This one here on 3rd and long. And that's just great awareness by a young player to know exactly how far he needs to go.
When you look at this team offensively and defensively, their best players are their youngest players, and you don't usually see that from a Michigan State style team. They're usually chock full of redshirt juniors, redshirt seniors, but they've had to count heavily upon young, inexperienced players. And you're right, David, the 2 most important plays of the game for this Michigan State offense have ended up in the hands of a true freshman receiver.
That's a big conversion. I love the play call too. I really like the design. They created a bunch alignment, which led to some confusion defensively, which is rare. You don't see this Hoosier defense confused. They gave up way too much space to Risen, who caught it underneath and burst forward for the conversion.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
Well, that was just a great play by the young kid. Only 2 catches. Both have been enormous. And now Indiana is going to have to start using those timeouts, you figure. And that means if they can't stop Michigan State here from getting a first down, the game is basically over.
Yeah, this is it. And this is a 4-minute drive. 4-minute drive, meaning you have the lead. It's in the 4th quarter and you're under 4. Michigan State is built with these drives in mind. Now, it hasn't been the prettiest performance offensively, but grinding out yards is what the Spartans have always excelled at. Need to grind for 10 more here to secure the victory.
Question is, will Peyton Ramsey and the Indiana offense ever touch the ball again? Pitch play. Scott left side. Scott near midfield, gets to midfield, pushes forward for a gain of 4. Indiana calls its first timeout. Have to. So it's 10-9, 2 timeouts remaining for Indiana, maybe 6 yards to go for the Hoosiers. Chances to come from behind now and win this game. And look, I don't want to harp on a game that Indiana has done a lot of things well, but they had the ball inside the 10, ran it straight ahead 3 times with the lead 6-3. They kicked the field goal to go up 9-3. If they lose this game, I think they're going to be looking back at that sequence of plays.
Yeah, and it further proves that, I mean, red zone drives and red zone efficiency in 2017, probably more than ever before, is so incredibly important. The difference between a field goal and a touchdown is obvious. It's massive. And those 3 drives that you referenced, where they ran it up the middle 3 straight times, very conservative, playing for the field goal, that's one that they will absolutely point to if, in fact, their defense can't get the ball back to their offense with time remaining.
6.5 yards or so for Michigan State to put this game away. Under 3 minutes. Scott gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. What a big play. That's Robert McCray with the tackle behind the line. So that helps. Indiana will use its 2nd timeout, and it becomes 3rd and 8 or so. Well, the Spartans had not scored a touchdown. They were down 9-3. Their defense forced a punt deep in Indiana territory. They got the ball at their own 45. This was the 4th down play. Risen got just enough, and then they used a little creativity.
Yeah, on the end around reverse to Davis, and he's rewarded on the following play with a touchdown on the corner route. Not shown on that little package of plays was a 3rd and 19. by that Spartan offense that gave them the opportunity to go for it on 4th and 3 where they found Hunter Rison. That's been the biggest play of the game to this point, giving them the option to potentially go for it. They opted to, and they converted. Eventually made it to their way to the end zone to take the lead.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good point. You got another, not quite as long, but 3rd and long here. Will the Spartans be aggressive and throw it? Will they hand it off and lean on their defense? Lewerke rolling right with Scott in front. Fires, caught. 1st down and more. The freshman White inside the 20.
They go with the sprint right option play, which is designed to beat man-to-man and throw a quick out route to the right. It wasn't there because Indiana went with a zone on defense. Lewerke finds his 2nd option in the progression. White for a huge conversion. And Tom Allen had the right play call, exactly what you want defensively. Just better execution from the sophomore quarterback.
And now the Spartans are not going to be throwing the ball. L.J. Scott on the ground, blockers in front. Scott bounces it. Touchdown. Maybe Indiana wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
They did, guys. Just standing right next to Tom Allen down here. His entire staff told everybody, stand there, don't do anything, let them score. It's going to be their only way of getting the ball back.
I can't believe Michigan State didn't have a call to tell L.J. Scott to go down. Because now Indiana's going to get the ball back, and it's still potentially a 1-score game.
Extra point is up and good. That's going to be tough on the Hoosiers, but because they let Scott score, they still have a chance in this one. That was interesting.
Huge. And if L.J. Scott goes down after he makes the yards to gain for a 1st down,
yeah,
the game's over. They can kneel on it 3 times, and it's over. Instead, L.J. Scott scores, which forces Michigan State to go back on defense and giving the ball to Indiana with the chance to potentially go down and tie the ball game. That's a mistake.
Well, Tom Allen not too uptight still about it. He knows his team at least still has a chance. So look, L.J. Scott, somebody's got to help him with. Obviously, nobody passed along the message. Hey, we don't want you to score. From Michigan State's perspective, maybe you say, okay, if they're going to give it to us, put it on our defense, make them go down the field, score a touchdown and a 2-point conversion just to tie. That's the scenario for the Hoosiers. But if Scott goes down, you only have 1 timeout. Basically, the game is going to be over.
Game's over. You can stop it 1 time. You kneel on it 3 times, and it's done. The coaches are shaking hands at midfield. Instead, Michigan State's going on defense, and Indiana has a chance to go down and score and tie.
So the touchback, Peyton Ramsey, the redshirt freshman who was banged up last time Indiana had the ball, will come out on the field. 1:49 to go. He did it last week at home against Michigan, led him down the field to tie the game and send it to overtime. It's going to take more than just a field goal here in East Lansing.
Yeah, but he was at his best. He really was. It's the best I've ever seen him. Outside of some moments in the Virginia game, the best I've ever seen him was in that 2-minute situation last week against Michigan. Back against the wall, had to have it. He made some of the best throws of his career. Let's see if he can do it now on the road against a very good Spartan defense.
Have to go 75 yards, and then they need the 2-pointer on top of it. Ramsey steps up. Ramsey now going to run. Ramsey will go out of bounds. They do still have the 1 timeout, but that's a smart play. Stop the clock after a gain of 5.
Just get the drive started. If you're a quarterback and you're in this situation, the toughest play is the first play. You have to get the drive started with a positive gain. It's exactly what Ramsey got there with his legs.
Second down, Ramsey again, nowhere to go with the ball. He'll throw middle. It is caught. Timian right at the first down mark, and they're going to stop the clock. It is an Indiana first down. 1:33 to go.
Expect Timian to get a lot of work on this drive with the way Michigan State's playing defensively.
1st and 10 Hoosiers. Little screen play, penalty flag, and that is a short gain anyway. The flag, I assume, is going to be holding. Michigan State's going to move them back.
Holding, offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's the right-hand side. Delroy Baker, you see him grab that jersey, beat initially inside. Tries to save a life, but no chance you're getting away with that one. A good call by the officials.
Now the clock winds. 1st and 20. Back where they started. Ramsey still looking, throws. He's got a man. Timian, who goes backwards, gets tackled inbounds. Clock continues to move, and Indiana will use its final timeout. It's a good decision.
Right.
1:03 to go. Now look, it's not. It doesn't necessarily matter when you use that timeout. You just got to save as much time as you can. You still have time.
Yeah.
Clock stops on first downs. You can always clock it, kill it into the ground. And you said Peyton Ramsey did a great job in this kind of situation last week against Michigan.
Yeah, right now he's retreating a little bit too much in the pocket, though, because of the force that Michigan State's trying to rush with. They're twisting guys around. They're trying to create isolations up front, and they're not allowing him just to sit back there and pick apart a prevent defense, which I applaud defensively from Michigan State. But you look at this offensive line, the onus is going to be put on them. It's going to take time to uncover, so they have to do a good job holding their blocks at the point and allow Peyton Ramsey to find those open receivers in the secondary.
And remember, Indiana let Michigan State score just to get the ball back and at least have a chance. They need a touchdown and a two-point conversion. 2nd and 10. Got to get out across the 45. Ramsey pressured again. Having to go backwards. He will throw it away. 3rd down with 59 seconds to go.
It's rare when you see a substitution in a 2-minute situation, and they put in a new tackle. Number 58 now playing right tackle.
And Delroy Baker just has not been able to block.
Yeah, keep an eye on that matchup. Fresh tackle, green tackle with a clean jersey. If I'm the Spartans defense, I might try to attack the right side.
Danny Friend, who's sort of a tight end tackle hybrid player, now in the game. Pressure picked up. Ramsey throws to the sideline. Timian, that's a very short gain. It's 3rd and 10. He's out of bounds. That does stop the clock, but it's 4th down. This is it for the Hoosiers.
This is it.
Expect Michigan State to force this ball to the middle of the field. They're not going to let anything to the sidelines.
Now a whistle from the sideline. I think did Mark D'Antonio call timeout? He did. So 54 seconds still to go. 17-9 is the score. Michigan State. I mean, look, the Spartans are trying to stay undefeated in Big Ten play, and you got to give them credit for being resilient. They were down 9-3 in the 4th quarter. Finally got the offense going, then got the ball back on their last possession, punched it in. They're one play away from putting this one away.
Yeah, and obviously you just have to give so much credit to this Michigan State team to this point. Obviously getting the lead. We can talk a little bit about whether or not L.J. Scott should have scored that touchdown. He shouldn't have. He should have gone down, and this game would be over. But this team has really been resilient. Every single one of their victories hasn't really been pretty, but they've figured out a way to make the plays necessary to win the game. This is obviously one of them, and a gotta-have-it situation for Indiana.
To keep their chances alive. Ramsey will get hit. The ball floats up and falls down incomplete. And that's going to do it. Raequan Williams straight up the gut. close call, but on the wrong end for the Hoosiers. Michigan State, and I say this as a compliment, they are so stubborn to the style that they play, and they stayed stubborn all the way into the fourth quarter, trailing by 6, and in the end, it's going to pay off with a victory.
Yeah, it is. They muddy it up. They're physical. They're tough. They absorbed some body blows today, but they'll be smiling on the sideline once again. Hard-fought, physical game, where credit is due to not only the Spartans, but also the Hoosiers. They played their heart out and come up short once again against a top 20 team.
Well, they never reset the play clock. They will take a knee, and that will officially do it. 4-0 in Big Ten play. 6-1 overall. Michigan State got tested big time by Tom Allen and Indiana. But in the end, Mark D'Antonio's team just a little bit better. Final seconds will tick off the clock. Some of those young guys for the Spartans. It is a young team. Came through in the end. Tom Luganville down on the field with the head coach of the Spartans.
Well, Coach, you've got a resilient football team, but also a young football team. How would you summarize how this team played here tonight?
Well, we're going to make some mistakes. We found a way to make a play on offense, and, defense played tremendously the whole night. And, Indiana, they played really well. They got a good football team. But very proud of our grit. It's about grit. So just very happy for our football team, proud of our football team. 6 wins makes us bowl eligible. That's a big deal for us.
Tough sledding offensively. Field position was an issue. You get into the second half, start to get a little rhythm in the passing game. How would you describe the performance of Brian Lewerke in the second half?
Well, I thought Cody White, one of our freshmen, made some big plays, and then 2 big third down catchers by Hunter Rison, too, another true freshman. So, when we had to make a play on third down, we said, let's pass it. And, Hunter made the play. Yeah. Outstanding.
Hey, go enjoy it, Coach.
Thank you.